Have you ever felt stuck in a season where everything seems paused, where your dreams, your prayers, your hopes are on hold, and you don't see any signs of breakthrough? That waiting room can feel like the hardest place on earth. But what if I told you that the waiting is not wasted time? What if the silence, the delay, the uncertainty is actually God's secret workshop, where He's shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for something greater than you can imagine? When God makes you wait, He is not ignoring you or forgetting your prayers. He is growing you. He is stretching your faith beyond what you thought was possible. He is pruning away the parts of you that would hold you back, strengthening your character, deepening your patience, and building resilience inside you. Waiting is not punishment. It's a divine process of growth. It's in the waiting that you learn to trust when you can't see, to believe when the answers haven't come, and to become the person worthy of the blessing you're seeking. God uses the waiting to align your heart with His timing, to prepare you for the responsibilities of your breakthrough, and to teach you that true growth doesn't come from speed, but from endurance. So the next time you feel restless, remember, God is working in the waiting, and He's growing you into the masterpiece only He can create. The power of waiting, why it's not a setback. How God uses silence to speak loudly. Growing your faith when you can't see the finish line. Patience is the hidden strength you're building, preparing you for breakthrough, the divine refinement process. Trusting God's timing over your own plans. The power of waiting, why it's not a setback. Waiting. Just that word alone can make your heart feel heavy. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm. Fast food, quick answers, immediate results. So when life puts us in a season of waiting, it feels like a pause button has been pressed on our progress, and we can get frustrated, anxious, or even lose hope. But here's the truth you need to hear today. Waiting is not a setback. It's not a delay or a failure. It's a powerful part of God's plan to grow you into the person you need to be before your breakthrough comes. Imagine this. A seed doesn't grow overnight. It spends time buried in the dark soil, hidden from the sun, covered in dirt. But inside that quiet, unseen waiting, the seed is growing roots. Roots that will hold it steady through storms and winds. It's growing strength that no one can see yet. That seed's waiting is necessary for its future growth. And your waiting is the same. God's timing is never random or wasteful. When He asks you to wait, He's inviting you into a process of transformation that can't happen any faster. Why? Because growth isn't just about getting to the finish line. It's about who you become on the journey. Waiting forces you to slow down, to look inward, and to develop qualities that only time and endurance can build. Patience, perseverance, humility, and trust. These are not small things. These are the foundations for lasting success and fulfillment. When you rush through life, you risk missing the deeper lessons that prepare you for the challenges and blessings ahead. Have you ever thought about how many stories in the Bible involve waiting? Abraham waited decades for his promised son. Joseph waited years in prison before he became a leader in Egypt. David waited for his moment to be king while facing rejection and danger. Every one of these stories shows us that waiting is part of the journey to God's best. It's not punishment, it's preparation. So, what's really happening when you wait? God is doing a silent work inside you. He's growing your faith roots deeper so you won't be shaken when storms come. He's shaping your character so you won't fall into pride or impatience when success arrives. Waiting builds your spiritual muscles. It teaches you how to trust in Him fully, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're hard. Here's another thing to remember. Waiting is a test of your belief. It challenges you to hold on to hope, even when the evidence says otherwise. It stretches your faith beyond comfort zones. That struggle, that tension you feel, that's growth happening. Every moment you resist giving up, every time you choose trust over doubt, you're strengthening the very thing that will carry you through your breakthrough. Waiting also gives God the opportunity to align circumstances perfectly. Sometimes, if you rush ahead, you might miss blessings or fall into situations that aren't right for you. The wait is God's way of setting the stage, removing obstacles, and putting the right people and opportunities in place for your success. So next time you feel the weight of waiting, remind yourself this: you are not stuck. You are growing. This season is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more ready than ever before. Don't despise the wait. Embrace it. Lean into it, because the power of waiting is the power of becoming everything God has called you to be before you step into your breakthrough. How God uses silence to speak loudly. Have you ever noticed how the quiet moments in life often feel the loudest inside your heart? When everything around you seems still and no answers come, it can feel like God is silent, like He's forgotten you or isn't listening. But that silence, it's actually one of the most powerful ways God communicates with us. It's in the silence that He's speaking louder than ever, even if we don't hear words with our ears. Think about it. Noise fills the world, constant distractions, people talking, our own thoughts racing, but silence cuts through all of that. It forces you to stop, to listen, and to pay attention. In those silent seasons, God is inviting you into a deeper connection with Him, one that goes beyond words or signs. It's a sacred space where your spirit can tune in to His voice, feel His presence, and understand His purpose. God's silence is not absence. It's His way of creating space for growth and reflection. When He doesn't answer immediately or when doors don't open right away, He's giving you time to quiet your heart, to examine your motives, and to align your will with His. It's like a pause button that lets you reset. Instead of rushing forward based on your own plans or fears, you're learning to wait for God's perfect timing and direction. Silence also reveals what's really inside you. When everything is noisy and busy, it's easy to ignore the doubts, fears, or impatience lurking beneath the surface. But in silence, those feelings come up, and God uses that to show you areas that need healing or growth. He wants to purify your heart, so when the breakthrough comes, you're not carrying old wounds or distractions that can trip you up. This silent season can feel uncomfortable. It might even feel lonely at times. But remember, silence isn't a sign that God is distant. It's a sign that He's working deeply in ways you can't see. It's like a gardener who stops pruning for a moment, but is watching carefully, waiting for the right time to help the plant bloom. The silence is His way of preparing you for something beautiful. Sometimes silence is God's way of protecting you. You might want something so badly and think it's the best for you, but God, in His wisdom, stays silent to keep you from rushing into something harmful or premature. His silence is love. It's His way of saying, "Not yet, trust me." And in this silence, you learn to hear God in new ways. Through the stillness of your soul, through peace that passes understanding, through subtle nudges of faith. This is where true intimacy with God grows, because you're not chasing after signs or answers. You're simply resting in His presence. So don't be afraid of the silence. Don't try to fill it with noise or distractions. Instead, lean into it. Ask God to speak through the quiet, to reveal His purpose in this season, and to strengthen your heart to wait well. Because sometimes God uses silence to speak the loudest truths, and it's in that quiet waiting that your faith will become unshakable and your spirit ready for the incredible things He has planned for you. Growing your faith when you can't see the finish line. It's one of the hardest things in life, believing when you can't see. When you're walking through a long season of waiting, the finish line feels invisible. You don't know how far you still have to go or when the breakthrough will come. Doubt sneaks in. Fear tries to take over. The mind starts to ask, is this really worth it? Am I wasting my time? But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Faith isn't about what you see. Faith is about what you trust, especially when the outcome is hidden. Growing your faith during the wait is like building a muscle. It takes work, commitment, and persistence. You have to keep choosing to believe, even when every circumstance around you says otherwise. That's faith in its purest form, trusting God's promises, God's timing, and God's plan, without having all the answers in front of you. Think about it. Faith is a journey, not a one-time event. It's not about having perfect confidence every single day. It's about refusing to give up when you don't feel confident at all. It's about saying, I believe, even when you're scared, even when you're tired, even when the waiting drags on. And every time you choose faith over fear, you're growing stronger. When you can't see the finish line, faith becomes your guiding light. It's like walking through a dark tunnel. There's no clear view of what's ahead, but you trust the light at the end is real. That trust fuels every step forward. It keeps you moving, keeps you hopeful, and keeps your heart open to the possibilities God has in store. Growing your faith also means learning to be patient with yourself. Sometimes you'll have moments of doubt. That's normal. Don't beat yourself up for that. Instead, recognize those moments as opportunities to lean harder into God's promises. Remember, faith isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Keep reading, keep praying, keep surrounding yourself with encouragement. Each small act of faith adds up, building a foundation that nothing can shake. Another important part of growing your faith is focusing on the process, not just the prize. When your eyes are fixed only on the breakthrough, the wait feels unbearable. But when you start to see the wait as a necessary part of your growth, you begin to appreciate how much God is doing in you. You become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's coming next. Your faith grows because you're learning to trust God not just for the result, but for the journey itself. Sometimes, growing faith means stepping out in small ways, even without full clarity. It means taking one step forward when you don't have all the answers, because faith is about action, not just belief. It's about trusting that God will catch you and guide you as you move forward, even in the unknown. So, if you're in that place right now, feeling lost, uncertain, or discouraged, know this. Growing your faith in the dark is one of the most powerful things you can do. It's preparing you for a breakthrough so big it will change everything. Keep believing when you can't see. Keep trusting when you don't understand. Because faith isn't about the finish line you see. It's about the heart that refuses to give up on the promise God has given you. Patience is the hidden strength you're building. Patience isn't just waiting quietly and hoping things will get better. It's a powerful strength that God is building inside you, even when you don't realize it. In today's fast-pacing world, patience can feel like an ancient, forgotten virtue. We want results now. We want answers now. And when life forces us to wait, it feels uncomfortable, frustrating, and sometimes unbearable. But here's what you need to hear. Patience is not weakness. It's one of the strongest muscles you can develop. And God uses the waiting seasons to train it in you. Think about this. Any kind of meaningful growth takes time. You don't build a strong body overnight, right? You have to be consistent, disciplined, and patient with the process. The same goes for your spirit. Patience is the discipline of the soul. It teaches you to keep calm in chaos, to keep hope alive in silence, and to keep trusting when the world around you doubts. When God asks you to wait, He's teaching you patience, because patience shapes your character. It makes you more resilient. It equips you to handle the pressures and challenges that come with the blessings you're waiting for. Without patience, you might rush into things too soon, make decisions based on desperation, or give up before the breakthrough arrives. But patience keeps you steady and grounded. You see, patience is the space where faith grows. It's the soil where trust takes root. When you learn to be patient, you're not just surviving the wait, you're thriving in it. You're learning how to rest in God's timing instead of trying to force your own. And that is huge, because God's timing is always perfect, even if it doesn't feel like it at the moment. Also, patience protects your peace. When you rush, you risk losing your peace of mind, your joy, and your clarity. But when you cultivate patience, you learn to say, "Not my will, but your will, God." You begin to find peace in surrendering control and trusting that God is working behind the scenes on your behalf. Patience also strengthens your perspective. It helps you see waiting not as a curse, but as a powerful season of preparation. It teaches you to focus on growth, what God is doing inside you, rather than just on the outcome. Every day you choose patience, you're choosing growth over frustration, trust over doubt. And here's the beautiful part. Patience is contagious. When you walk in patience, you inspire others to do the same. You become a light for people around you who are struggling with their own weights. Your calm endurance becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. So, how do you build patience? It starts with small choices. Choosing to breathe when anxiety hits. Choosing to pray instead of panic. Choosing to trust instead of rush. It's a daily decision to believe that God's timing is best. It's learning to be content in the not yet, while keeping your eyes on the soon. Remember, patience is not passive. It's active trust in God's process. It's strength in waiting. So when life feels slow, when the waiting feels long, remind yourself, God is growing a deep, unshakable patience inside you, and that patience will carry you through every storm and every breakthrough ahead. Preparing you for breakthrough, the divine refinement process. When you're in the middle of waiting, it's easy to feel like nothing is happening, that you're stuck in a place of frustration or even failure. But what if that wait is actually God's divine way of preparing you for something extraordinary? Breakthroughs don't just happen out of nowhere. They come after seasons of refinement, growth, and preparation. God uses the waiting period like a master craftsman uses a chisel, carefully shaping, smoothing, and perfecting you for the moment you step into your destiny. You've probably heard the phrase, God is refining you like gold. It's not just a nice saying, it's a process, filled with heat, pressure, and sometimes discomfort. But that refining fire is necessary. Without it, impurities remain. Without it, your breakthrough won't be as powerful or as lasting as it's meant to be. God's refinement process removes everything that could weigh you down or distract you when the doors open. It strengthens your faith, deepens your character, and sharpens your focus. Think about it like this. Diamonds are formed under intense pressure. They don't become valuable because they were easy to make. They became valuable because they endured the pressure and heat. In the same way, God's preparation during your wait is making you precious and strong. The challenges, the doubts, the long nights, they're all part of the process to make your breakthrough pure and lasting. Really, this divine refinement also means God is preparing you for responsibility. Sometimes we pray for success or blessing, but God waits because He knows we're not ready to handle it yet. He's preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit to manage the breakthrough with wisdom and humility. When you're ready, the blessing will come, and you'll be able to steward it well. During this process, God is also teaching you to rely fully on Him. When everything feels uncertain, when plans fall through or delays happen, you learn to lean not on your own understanding, but on God's wisdom. This dependence on God is essential for your breakthrough, because true success isn't just about what you can do, it's about what God can do through you. And here's something important. Refinement is personal. No two people's journeys look the same. God's process for you is tailored perfectly to your needs, your purpose, and the calling on your life. That's why the wait might feel different from anyone else's. Don't compare your timeline or your process. Trust that God is doing exactly what you need to become the person He created you to be. While you're in this season of preparation, it's vital to stay close to God. Pray, seek His guidance, and be open to the lessons He's teaching you. Sometimes the breakthrough will come suddenly, and other times it will come gently, like a sunrise after a long night. But either way, God's refining work is happening quietly and powerfully. Remember, the wait is not wasted. It's the divine workshop where God is preparing you for your greatest breakthrough. So don't rush the process or become discouraged by the delay. Embrace it. Let God's hands shape you, refine you, and prepare you for a future beyond what you can imagine. Because when the breakthrough finally comes, it will be a testimony not just of what God did, but of who He made you through the wait. Trusting God's timing when you feel ready, but the door is still closed. One of the toughest parts of waiting is feeling ready. Really ready to move forward, to step into that next season, to claim your breakthrough, but the door remains closed. You're prepared, you've done the work, your heart is aligned, and yet the timing hasn't arrived. It's easy in those moments to feel confused, frustrated, or even abandoned. Why am I ready but nothing is happening, you ask? The truth is, trusting God's timing in these seasons is one of the deepest expressions of faith you can have. God's timing isn't our timing. It often feels mysterious, slow, or even unfair. But God's view is so much bigger than ours. He sees every detail, every ripple effect, every person involved, and every circumstance that needs to fall into place perfectly. What feels like delay is often divine orchestration, putting everything in order behind the scenes so when the door finally opens, it opens wide and leads you exactly where you're meant to be. When you feel ready, but the door is still closed, God is asking you to trust Him even more. Trust that He knows what He's doing, even if you don't understand it right now. Trust that your readiness is not wasted, but is building a foundation for something greater. And trust that His timing is perfect. Never early, never late, but always right on time. Think about how many great stories of success and breakthrough include a long season of preparation and waiting before the door opened. Joseph spent years in prison before becoming a leader in Egypt. Moses waited decades in the wilderness before leading his people. David was anointed as king but spent years running and hiding before he took the throne. They were all ready, but God's timing was still in motion. Their waiting wasn't a sign of failure. It was a vital part of the journey. This is a time for patience and deepening your relationship with God. Use this waiting season to grow in trust. Lean into prayer. Meditate on God's promises and surround yourself with encouragement. Don't let the closed door make you doubt your worth or your calling. Your preparation is not in vain. God is working on a larger plan that you can't fully see yet. Another thing to remember is that sometimes God closes doors to protect you. You may feel ready, but there may be things you're not aware of that could derail your breakthrough or cause harm. God's timing means He's holding you back for a reason, to keep you safe, to refine your heart, or to align you with the right path and people. While you wait, keep walking in faith. Continue to improve your skills. Strengthen your mindset and serve others. Stay productive, even if it feels like progress is slow. When the door opens, you want to be more than ready. You want to be unstoppable. Trusting God's timing when you feel ready is an act of surrender. It means letting go of your agenda and embracing His plan with confidence. It means believing that the wait is worth it and that the best is yet to come. Your breakthrough is coming, not a moment too soon or a moment too late, but exactly when God says it's time. And when that door finally swings open, you'll step through with a faith that's stronger, a heart that's wiser, and a future that's brighter than you ever imagined. So, here's what I want you to remember. The weight you're in right now isn't wasted time. It's God's way of growing you, growing your faith, your patience, your character, and your strength. Every silent moment, every unseen struggle, every not yet is shaping you for something greater. You are being prepared in ways you can't fully understand yet, but one day when that breakthrough comes, you'll look back and realize it was all necessary. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Keep trusting God's timing. Keep believing even when it feels impossible, and keep growing through the wait. Because God is not just growing your future. He's growing you into the person who can handle that future with grace and power. Hold on tight. Your breakthrough is coming. And when it does, it will be beyond anything you ever dreamed possible. Keep the faith, keep the patience, and keep walking in trust. Because God is growing you through the wait.